see what I'm saying? Yeah. But we have to turn back to the Most High. This is what we need to be focusing on.
Yeah.
The Father said that He was going to send us in this land to be servants, and this is what we hear. We're not here to be equal and all of this other stuff, equal rights. We're not here for none of that. We here to get our mind right, turn back to YaHuWaH, and get on the body.
What's up, my peoples? What's up, Israel? This is YaHuWaH's Life. We're here at our yearly fellowship. But before we get into that, I want to give all praise, honor, and esteem to the Most High, who is YaHuWaH, and we serve Him only. All right, and so like I said, we at this year's fellowship. We're in Dallas, Texas. Mm-hmm. We all sacrificed and made the time for each other to come together, just so we can come get some of this meat and just receive what the Father got for us. All right, I'm Rob. Like I said, this is
Kenny.
This is Mike.
Eli.
Javon.
Frank. All right, and this is the group we got this year. Every year it kind of changes a little bit, but the Father just keep on blessing us. So as we get into this, I came up with some questions. You know what I'm saying, for the brethren. Some of them biblical, some of them pertaining to things going on in the world. I want to get their thoughts on. And we're gonna run right into it smooth and see what the ox got to say. So the first question, if you guys are ready, anybody got anything they want to put on the table before we get to the questions on the table?
No, just give a shout out to everybody, and it's good to be catching up, doing the Father work, when at His appointed times.
Yeah.
So we still doing the 1, 2, 1, 2. So shout out to everybody that's here and everybody that's gonna see the video once this thing drop. And pretty much all I gotta say.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah, and I guess one thing that I'll add is that for you all out there that's viewing the videos that we put out and everything, if you agree with what we're putting forth, and all we're putting forth is the truth of YaHuWaH, our Father, then make sure you hit the like button and share this with people so others can have the opportunity to tap into the knowledge of the truth, because that's what our ministry is about, is just walking in truth and doing those things which is pleasing to the Heavenly Father.
Mm-hmm. Sir. All right.
Yeah. Make sure you subscribe too.
Subscribe.
Share and subscribe.
Yeah. Hey, trying to get the message out there, y'all. Right. We're trying to get people to see the truth. So we can't do that by ourselves. Y'all gotta help. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna get into the first question. All right. Everybody kind of wondering what it might be. We're gonna talk about Creflo for the next couple minutes. All right. Creflo, he made an admission this week. About he's been teaching tithing the wrong way for his entire ministry time. All right. So I'm gonna start with Kenny on this question. I just want to get your initial thoughts on it, and just expound if you want to a little bit on your version of tithing. What you say tithing is compared to what the church has done all these years.
Well, I think for the people that got a chance to look at what Creflo's little apology, so to speak, or his confession about tithing and how he's changing it and asking his congregation and members to destroy anything, is the way he put it, that he ever did on tithing. Us at Warriors of the Ruwach have always explained that tithing on our website. So if you go to warriorsoftheruwach.com, then you saw that we've always said that the way the church did it was incorrect. So I won't get off into all the details of tithing, because you can go and look at that for yourself. But what I want to say is that when you walking in truth, and when you doing the things that you're supposed to do concerning the Father, He gonna always take care of His people. Now, a lot of times we were looked at as what they talking about. You know what I'm saying? What they doing? Got on there about tithing. They ain't doing it right or whatever. But now the Father, in His infinite wisdom, He said, "Look, I got this, and I'm gonna reveal my truth regardless." Yeah. And so now he's starting, and what the way I look at it is, it's critical in the sense that even if some of the other colleagues, his colleagues, don't do what he did, they still gonna have to feel the pressure. Yeah. Because now people gonna ask, "Hey, what's going on?" He didn't announce this. Benny Hinn didn't announced it. So what are we doing here? Is it truth to what they say? And now you're getting questioned. See, so that's what that does. It ain't about Creflo. It's about the Father. So it was just something that was inevitable. Yeah. It's kind of like the train coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. Ain't nothing you can do about it. So we just have to make sure that we understand that when we're walking in truth, and me and you talked about this last night, our actions are key. What you do is key. Anybody can get lip service. Yeah. Anybody can be out there talking about you need to do this and you need to do that. But if it don't line up with what the Father have in store for us, if it don't line up with His Word, it don't mean nothing. And so that's kind of my thought on it. I'm sure somebody else might offer some insight, but that's my thought out.
Yeah. Anybody else want to speak on the
Yeah, I'll add on there. I did see that apology video, and people were saying that was big of him. Giving him ups and stuff, and that is a good thing. But if we walking in the truth, the whole premise of the scriptures is when you in error, you fess up. So, I mean, yes, it's good that he did this, but is he really going to truly step up and do that? Because again, that's the whole what YaHuWaH wants us to do. We're in error. We change, we be humble, we ask, we say, you know what we was doing was wrong, and we course correct. You see what I'm saying? So I'm hoping we'll see what happens, but this is the premise of scripture. So for him to say this hopefully he's genuine about it and not just trying to get lip service and just trying to have people just, I'm sorry, it's a great thing. You got to walk in this thing, and that's what YaHuWaH wants you to do. If you're wrong, you ask for forgiveness, you correct that way, you know what I'm saying, and you get it right. So I mean, we'll see what happens, because it's that's a big thing. And I mean, if it all comes down to YaHuWaH's word. Like Uncle said, that's just what it is. So people take time, facts. People take time, go back to the OT, see what originally it was all about. Then they can now base their movements moving forward on facts and truth of YaHuWaH's word versus tradition versus what we've always done, tradition, what my parents have done, stuff like that. So we'll see. It's interesting for sure though. YaHuWaH's definitely moving.
You said something yesterday. You had a question for pertaining to the Creflo situation. What was your question?
Probably don't remember right now, but about Creflo, my thing is, all right, you can confess, and you can turn away, but are you going to return 70-fold? Are you going to give back?
That was your question,
right? Are you going to give back what you took, right? Because it's okay now that I did this incorrect, but now you're going to return to what you took because you were wrong.
Mm-hmm. That's tough.
That's tough, man.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine to say, hey, I made a mistake, I messed up, but also making a mistake and messing up is correcting too. So,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And this is just one small step of how deep it goes. I know all of us we know how deep this is, but this is part of it. When you have done something wrong for so long, incorrect, out of ignorance, and you find out what's going on, the hole goes deep.
Yeah, and then the other thing with that is, this is stuff we've been saying for years, so it's not like it's a surprise to us, but it's just like, if he come out and he make a statement, everybody's like shocked, but why is everybody shocked? It's because they're not going back and reading Tanakh and understanding what the Father laid down and has established. So the same thing we've been telling people for years, now their teachers is coming out and saying, hey, listen, what we taught was wrong. This is what it is. So this letting you know that the word of the Most High is standing. Mm-hmm. This ain't, no matter how much they try to duck dives, His word is standing firm. You ain't getting around it.
Yeah. For sure.
Because the same stuff we've been teaching on tithes is still here.
Yeah.
And when He telling His congregation, we already done told the people already, So.
And this ain't gonna stop here at tithing. There's gonna be some more stuff coming out, I believe. I mean, they're gonna have to admit some stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Because the Father is gonna always reveal His truth.
Yeah.
Right.
Matter of fact, we'll be talking about that. Some more coming on that, not in this particular video, but coming on that. He gonna always reveal His truth.
Everything
you don't get around it. So that's interesting. Good point.
Yeah.
We've always been talking about
it.
It may be brand new to some of you all out there that's hearing this, but if you tap in, and that's why we ask you to hit the like and share and subscribe button, because if you tap into this and our ministries here around this table, then you gonna hear the truth of the Father. We ain't telling you what we talking about. We telling you what thus saith the word, what YaHuWaH was saying. Right. See, the church telling you what they want you to hear. They smoothing stuff over. They got you doing stuff that's contrary to the word of the Father.
Mm-hmm.
But when we sit down, our whole goal is to make sure that we doing what YaHuWaH will have us to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we come together in this ministry. So we appreciate you for this roundtable.
Yeah. And just one last thing, I think this is gonna, strike the spark that people are gonna start asking the question. Well, if you are incorrect about this, what else are you incorrect on teaching us?
Yeah.
That's all. It's gonna start.
Good point, Ike. Good point.
Frank, the Ox, all of you guys said great points, and I agree with all of them. And what I'm seeing is that Christianity has definitely brainwashed, almost to a degree of mind control. So it's almost as if the Father's forcibly shaking up Christianity. And like you guys said, it's not going to be the first or the last. This is just the beginning. He's shaking the basket and trying to get that remnant that's in there. And then it's coming down the pipeline, like Mike says.
Yeah.
So it's time.
And then just one quick thing. I don't want to be on that too long, but the thing with that is, like you just said about what else we as the children of the Most High do not stop at the name, because we know that we know the name is big, but we know that it's bigger than the name. These people have attempted to erase the identity of a person. You see, so this tells us that we don't just stop at the name, and this is what so many people have done. It's like, oh well, we know that because we know it's easy to debunk the name Jesus. We know that. So that's easy for a person to grasp, but we don't stop there. We question everything and we fact check everything to make sure everything is in accordance. See, and when people stop, they get comfortable with where they at, and then it's like now with Creflo saying that, now everybody's in shock. Like, you know what I'm saying? But y'all been getting warned of this for years, right? So yeah. Mm-hmm. But good points, everybody. Yeah, sure.
All right, next question. Moving right along. All right, so we're going to just discuss for a few minutes the Russian-Ukrainian War. How does that affect us right now? What effect does that have on us right now? Should we even really be paying attention to it? Should we be worried about anything going on over, way over there? I mean, what are y'all thoughts on it? Just briefly.
Well, for me, just really quick, other subjects that we've talked about, for me, without getting too deep into it, that is just another sign that the coming Mashiach has not come, and that the person in the New Testament was not who he said he was. Simple for me. Without going too deep, we can get into that, but that's just a physical sign that I can see that didn't happen. Yeah. Just for me.
Yeah.
Just kind of to touch on that. I did a message titled "The Fall of America," and what we're starting to see now is that manifestation. Okay, what we have to understand is that this book, people, like I keep saying, and everybody trying to, they wait no mystery man. You even had those that have attempted to try to critique words that I threw out, not even understanding that, that they're following Christian theology. The thing we got to understand is that there's prophecies contained here in this book that has to be fulfilled. Okay, and when we go back and we look at these prophecies that have to be fulfilled, this is falling right in alignment with what the Father has laid down. So we like to see what's going on in Europe with the Europeans, because the Father's getting ready to crush that whole empire. What we're seeing is the end of that empire. You see what I'm saying? So the Father already said he's going to do this. This is what's going on, But because people have not studied Tanakh, they running around in a frenzy like, you know what I'm saying? They don't know what's going on. But we know as Israelites, our day and time of redemption is coming. And I'm going to be teaching on this garbage about spiritual Israel. That is a doctrine created by the church in order to remove the prophecies that's contained in the book. And what people are not thinking about is that if we believe in the book of Revelations, if we fact check the book of Revelations with Tanakh, it's going to show you that these two documents disagree with one another. All of these people that's running around waiting on mystery, man, I want to know, I could just say one thing. Has the war of Gog and Magog happened? That's prophesied in the book that happened. I don't think anybody is going to be ignorant to come out and say, well, yes, this happened. Or so if we know this didn't happen, then we know that this has to happen. And what's the things that's connected and tied to that? You know what I'm saying? So you can't. So people are attempting to create this new religion, this new direction, but our history is already written. So we not panicking because we know this stuff is going down, but we already prepared for it. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what's going on. We have the vision. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, so it's a lot of, and then the other thing that people not understanding, like when you look at the stock market, because we got to, we talking about money and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Rush already said we're not taking the American dollar.
Yeah.
We're either taking that or crypto.
Yeah.
So what they said is, you know what? No, you're not. We just gonna crash the market and say you're not getting nothing out the market. You see what I'm saying? So these are the games that's going on behind the scenes. So what we're seeing is the crippling and the crumbling of this empire. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's beautiful because in order for us to rise, that has to happen.
That has to fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got anything else?
Well, yeah, that's just a good point. I wanted to kind of speak just real briefly about the practical side of everything and what's going on concerning that. And I've always looked at it as just a distraction. It's a distraction. You know, you start looking at the price, and it's another way for what the man, I'll say the man, so to speak, is put in place to keep us under their thumb. You know, because you look at the rising, you have the rising gas prices. You know, when you look at the stock market and all of that kind of stuff, and it's really any time that they want to kind of keep us at bay, then they create this sense of fear. You know, and it's the Russian-Ukraine war, and then they blame everything on that. As for why this happening, why the stock's going up, why the oil prices, going up.
Right.
And it's just. It's a distraction to take you off of what the Father wants you to be focused on, because what we know walking in the truth is that if we walk this thing out in truth, and we're gonna get to that truth part of this, then the Father gonna always, not sometimes, not might, he gonna always take care of his people.
Right.
That's what he do. That's why it's so important to walk in that truth and understand that all the stuff that's swirling around you is just a distraction for you to, look, man, not this going on and that. But he said, hold up.
Looking over here, but
you
should be looking
Jay,
over
what
here.
did we say? What in our little conversation, I think when we first got here, the first day? Focused over confusion.
Oh, yes.
Are you confused?
Right.
Or are you focused?
Right. Yep.
Because when everything going around you, man, I don't know what's going on. I can't know everything about what's going on.
Right.
But I know he knows.
One thing I won't say.
So my focus gotta stay right there.
Right.
And if I start to stay focused on him and walk in this truth, he gonna reveal, man, they trying to put up a smoke screen.
Right.
Pay attention.
Now, the one thing I look at, and I agree with you about that it's a distraction, but I also think it's an opportunity, because with all of that going on, the fall of America is going to actually bring our people closer together, because with less, we're more. You know what I mean? With less, we're more. Right? We're more together. We'll consolidate. Then we can, and then we'll start to be able to, feed the minds of those who don't have, and they're there, and we're more able to teach and be able to build more and to have our own land and start to consolidate, because we don't know what's going to happen if the economy do crash or whatever, and let's say a food shortage get to that point. What are we going to do? We're going to go to the man and ask for the handout, or we're going to go and plow that land
That we got.
right and make it happen. You get what I'm saying? So during these times that's going on, with the worldly events, we have to start, like you said, focus over confusion, focusing on those opportunities to now start being independent.
The relevant things.
Yeah.
Independence is relevant.
Yeah.
That's good, huh?
Yeah, and then just to kind of take it to another level. Let's take it upstairs a little bit more. It because we look at it from that type of perspective, but the way that we have to start looking at it is that the man has no power over us whatsoever.
None.
What we have to understand is that the man did not put us in this situation, and the man cannot get us out of this situation.
That's right.
The reason why we are here in America is because of the penalties that our ancestors did. YaHuWaH put us here. See,
Wow.
so it ain't so much. See, everybody running to the reparations. What about this? Nah, forget all that.
Yeah.
We don't need that.
Right.
Because the Father is going to strip them anyway when we come up out of here. We need that anyway, just like with the Egyptians. So we don't need to be, we got to understand we the children of the Most High. This is what they don't like. We don't have to work and do all. The Father going to make sure we good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But we have to turn back to the Most High. This is what we need to be focusing on.
Yeah.
The Father said that He was going to send us in this land to be servants, and this is what we hear. We're not here to be equal and all of this other stuff, equal rights. We're not here for none of that. We here to get our mind right, turn back to YaHuWaH, and get on up out of here.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
So that's what we got to think. We got to stop thinking the man is powerless over us. They have no power over us whatsoever. Once we get back to that source, which is YaHuWaH.
Yeah.
This is what's going on. We here for a certain time, and when the time is up, we out of
We're
here.
here because of punishment.
Yeah.
And perfect example was Black Wall Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They was coming up.
Right.
But we still on punishment. And you said it last night, huh?
Yeah.
We still on punishment, so that had to go down the way it went down.
Exactly.
All right, the Father like, look, it ain't y'all ain't coming out that room yet.
Yeah.
I sent y'all to y'all room, and y'all gonna stay there until I call you out of the room.
Exactly.
You can't come out on your own.
Exactly.
You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we gonna be here and until He says so.
Right. And that's why when people, during those times when the injustice and this Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, they don't understand that we're on punishment. A lot of, if you're moving out of the way of YaHuWaH, it's open season on you.
So.
Right. So, if you're not in line, if you out there, doing whatever, and these things are, these penalties is coming on you, or these bad things are afflicting you, is because you're out of pocket. If you're in pocket, then you good. You don't need to march down the street and do nothing. You know what I'm saying?
Which is ultimately what they want you to do, to show that, you know what I'm saying? You playing their game.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's what it is.
Right.
You're playing their game by doing all that stuff.
Turn
That's
to the
exactly
Father.
what they want you to do.
Real talk.
That's it. All right. Moving on to the next topic of discussion, number 3. What's everybody's thoughts on this New Testament contradiction stuff, man? I mean, why is it so hard for people to understand that the New Testament is leading us astray? That's my question. Who want to start with that one?
I'll start. I'll be the bold one to say that. I don't know who I was telling, one of the ox. Christianity has really been put into the Hebrew slave's mind. So that when something like that is done, and I can't really comprehend all that they went through. However, I know that when you put something into somebody's mind and you're pounding it every day and night through pain, it becomes. I mean, it's a powerful thing to even be scared to leave that.
Yeah.
So I can relate in the sense that it's hard. So that's probably one of the things that might be in their subconscious of leaving Christianity as a whole. You know what I'm saying? But the real Hebrew people, Israelite, man, they gotta realize that they're royalty, man. They need to realize that YaHuWaH is the only Eluah. You know what I'm saying? And when their time comes, they will be powerful beyond anything has ever existed on this earth. So don't be afraid. If you guys are on the wall, just do your research, because otherwise you're just going to be obliterated and not be part of what the Father has laid for you for the future. So that's kind of my take on it.
Yeah, I'll jump in there too. And religion in general, I will say also Christianity, the reason why it is so successful, and again, a lot of religions do this, is because nobody wants to go to hell. I mean, nobody wants to die some type of death the way the Revelations say do it. So they're using that fear. I mean, all religions do this. If you don't, accept whatever type of Holy Spirit or Messiah that we got going, y'all else wrong. All religions claim that kind of stuff. So when you are indoctrinated that from a child, your family members are also doing it. They're reinforcing that. Other people are doing it. They're reinforcing that, right? It just becomes a reality. So it comes down to the fear factor. If I leave this, how can then I not go to this place of eternal torment? What do? Now we know when we being in this, growing up in this, living this and seeing things on a constant basis in our lives with our family and friends, if we just make the time, yes, it's difficult, it may be rough, but if we make the time to get that foundation and see what it says in the Hebrew Old Testament and then weigh it against this, it's just two different cultures, period. If they're saying that, oh, the Christian New Testament, you know what I'm saying, is the fulfillment or those cultural traits are transferred over, we don't see that. Pagan stuff still happens, right? These traditions still happen. They believe in some type of salvific man that the Hebrews never had in the Old Testament. So I believe it is just people having to make the time, like you say, go back to the OT, read it for yourself. Take time, you know, and get that solid foundation on the Old Testament, and then weigh whatever your beliefs are, you know, against that Christian New Testament. If you say, yes, if you say that, you know, this is the creator here in the Old Testament, you know, the God of Israel, and he is what it is, then everything else has to be weighed against that, you know. So I just think it comes down to just the fear factor, you know what I'm saying? Because there's just so many families, and you know, Christianity is dominant. I mean, it's, what is it, 2.7 billion Christians? Over 45,000 flavors of Christianity. You can go down, you know what I'm saying? You can go down the road on this thing. So I think it's just being bold enough and being brave enough just to take a step back and look at what the facts are, and then just base, you know, what you want to do on those facts. So I think it's just fear and tradition, right? You got so much history, you know, of people, you know, in these religions.
Not wanting
to go against. Yes. Yeah, because they'll look at it as, you know, something's wrong with you because you just are concerned about what these facts are. Just inquiring. You could be looked at, you know, oh, you're bucking the system. Oh, you know, you're being disrespectful to the pastor, to the teacher, to the sect leader. You're being disrespectful if I just answer questions. So I think for me, it's a fear thing, you know. We've all experienced that type of fear, you know, but who removes all that fear and guilt when you go back to OT? So.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of what you're saying, Jay. It's the fear factor. It's the fear of the unknown. Well, if this is fake, then what's you know, because you've always been taught that you need Jesus, or if not, you die and you're going to hell. But then even that, we have to question that, like what is the origin of that concept? Where if you die, you go to hell. Did the Most High tell Adam, when you die, you're going to hell, and you're going to die? He just said that day you eat it, and that day you're going to die. Yeah. You know? Right. So these are things that we have to just take time to kind of sometimes slow down. But the main thing is people are not under any real teaching. Yeah. Everybody is built on faith, belief. It's all based on a faulty system, a belief system. What is a belief system? It's garbage. It's a saying that goes that, and I'm pretty sure y'all know it, a bird in the hand beats a bird in the bush. Yeah, bird in the hand. So when you know something, you know, versus the unknown. Do you believe this? Right. See, you believe it in the unknown. Do you believe that this man, you know, because it's like, I hear people saying, is it hard to believe that the Most High can do anything he want to do? But when we fact checking stuff, we don't use those measuring sticks. If we know that, if somebody say, do you believe that you should not steal? Do you believe that? We don't have to believe. We know we should not steal because the Father has put in his word that you shall not do this. See, this whole system with Christianity has corrupted people's mind because you're believing in the unknown. The Father don't move like that. See, the Father has already told us before he do anything, he going to instruct us to the word of the prophets. See, so it's so many elements that people, when you're dealing with this New Testament, you have to look at manuscripts, you have to look at the history of that day, okay? You have to look at documents from the empire of that day, which would have been the Roman Empire, and then you have to look at the writings of the church fathers. So you have 4 different elements when you're dealing with this, with the New Testament, that you have to consider and go through to find out, you know what I'm saying? So basically people are believing in some when the facts is showing something totally different. So when we examine all 4 areas that I just explained, the actual manuscripts that we have here today, those manuscripts, the history from the Roman Empire of that day, and the Jewish Empire, you know, you had the writers of that day, your Philo of Alexandria, you had the Josephus, you had a man that was known as Hegesippus, that was, so you had people back during those time periods that lived. So you look at, when we look at the manuscripts and we look at the history of that day, from the Roman Empire, the Jewish history, and we look at the testimony of what is known as the Church Fathers of the day, we know that the writings are in conflict. And when we start fact checking everything, we know that is fake. So, I mean, people just the unknown. It's like, what happens, if there's no Jesus, because then, he died for our sins. Well, where did the book say somebody need to die for your sins? Where is that at? It's not there. You know what I'm saying? So, so we gonna go more into that, but just kind of.
I mean, that's kind of what we've been hitting on here the last several months, is just going into the beginning process of challenging what that New Testament is saying and just lining up what it's saying about itself, what it's saying within itself, with what the Most High said through His prophets. All right, starting with from Abraham on up. Noah, Abraham, all those guys. You look at what was done in the New Testament versus what was done and said in the Old Testament, and then see if it agrees. And a lot of it don't. I mean, most of it don't. All right, and a lot of the New Testament, to me, was just plagiarized from the Old Testament.
Yeah,
took a whole bunch of stories and stuff and just put some new words in there. Had put a little, some Greek and Latin nuances, some Roman nuances in there, and curved it around and smoothed it out.
1,000 parts. But the thing with that is, going back to that point, what people don't understand because they have not gone and studied the history. Like Josephus tells us, when they destroyed Jerusalem, they took the scrolls, and they took those scrolls into the Roman Empire, was never seen again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So then they were able to comb through those writings and create and come up with what is known today as Christianity. So that's the origin of it. That's
the attempt at a one-word
religion. Yeah.
And see, I think it's important because you have to understand, just like I said, you got to go back and do the research. But even on top of the research, you first got to understand what the Father said. And once you understand what the Father said, anything that contradicts what He said cannot stand.
Right.
Now, He didn't say it wasn't going to hang on.
Yeah.
Because if you prop something up, it'll hang on for a little while.
Yeah.
But if some pressure come down through there, that prop ain't going to hold it up. And so what the truth is, talked about it last night, y'all, the truth is pressure. The truth is pressure. So when you got that lie propped up, and then you set that truth down on top of that lie gonna fold every time. Because the truth is pressure. And that's why it's important for us to understand what the Father said, because the Father said that He cannot lie. See, and He never changed, right? If he said it back then, it still stands now. You see what I'm saying? And what they have done in the New Testament is want you to believe that what the Father said back then, somewhere down the line, He changed up on us.
You don't believe that way.
He said something to change everything up.
So if you want to verify that, all you got to do is go back and look and see what the Father said. And then it'll show you that what they're telling you today does not line up to what He said back in the day. So I got to go with the Father. See?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's what I wanted to say on that.
Yeah, and then one thing on that last thing that I want to say before we move on, because I hear chatter and people don't allow people to deceive you, because that's what it is. It's really like a form of sorcery, is what it is. Whenever you hear people saying, "Oh well," they say the Old Testament is fake. They say the same thing about the Old Testament about the New. That right there is a deceptive spirit, a deceptive tongue, because the thing that we have to understand is that as children of the Most High, we know better. We don't deal with he say, she say. We dealing with facts. So if there's something in the Old Testament that is fake, or they say this is fake about this and that, then we need to bring that to the table. We need to look at that. We don't just disregard that just because, they say this, that type of spirit, that type of ideology that's coming from certain individuals. They know who they are. They witches and warlocks. They talk about dumb demons and all. What type of spirit is you operating with where you would come to a person and say, because essentially you agreeing with what we saying. If you come to the people and say, well, they say the Old Testament is fake. Well, if they say the Old Testament is fake, we know for sure that the New Testament is fake.
Yeah.
Right.
So what you saying? What's your argument here? Oh, I ain't saying that. Well, why even bring an argument up like that if you're not saying that? What are you saying?
Yeah.
So you're trying to seduce people's mind
right.
because what you saying? Are you saying that the Old Testament? Because if the Old Testament fake, then let's just deal with the Old Testament, get the New Testament. Because we know that's fake for sure. Because this is basically riding on the back of the Old Testament.
Yeah.
So we can just get that off and just go right to the Old Testament and deal with that. That's what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So what are people saying? This is nothing more than a spirit of seduction that is moving through the earth to try to counteract what's coming, but we're going to crush everything that's in the way, in the path. Anybody that's holding on to that New Testament before it's over and done with, you're going to look like a fool because how you going to get away from the facts?
Right.
Now, if you're saying that, oh, well, they said this about the Old Testament, what did they say? Let's fact check it and see if it's true or not. Because if it's true, then I'm moving away from it. If it's fake, you know what I mean? So these are the things that we just have to be mindful of, and we have to stop these individuals in their tracks when they start to, go down that path or whatnot. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I want to say on that.
All right. And that was a good discussion.
Yeah.
Man. There's a lot of meat on that bone.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Matter of fact, it wasn't even no bone in there. That was straight meat right there. All right. Question number 4. What's y'all take on this? What's the importance of Israel today? Like, what's the significance of Israel right now, learning who they are, and then just aligning themselves with the Most High? I mean, should that be a prevalent theme today for Hebrews?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I believe that you should always have a relationship with the Father. You know, that's just one. That's the first basis of everything. That's the foundation. Just having a relationship with the Most High. You know, and then everything else. Once you build on that, and then you get into His Word, you will start to understand what's your purpose. You know, He's gonna give you your purpose. You know, we as His witnesses is to deliver His Word to the world. You get what I'm saying? And I mean, from that start, our job is to give the Word to the world, and for those people to, they, after we give it to them and we get and explain it to them and put it out there, now it's on them to pick up the torch and continue that. And build on that. If they really looking for true salvation, But that's how I feel our job is what we supposed to do as children of the Most High.
Share the message.
That's it, basically. Share the message. What that? Yeah, I agree.
I think it is significant because when you go back and you study Tanakh, the scripture help us to understand that the Father has told us that He's going to bring Israel out of these places that He's scattered us to. And when you look at the Israelites that's in these various different lands, everybody have this doubt. Everybody's pretty much doing what they feel should be doing. These Israelites believe this. This group of Israelites believe that. This Israelites believe that. So it's this time that we're in right now is important because we have to get all on the same accord. This is why I said we have division. This information that's coming down is challenging every ministry, every movement, everything that's in the earth. You know what I'm saying? As we get ready to go back to the original. See, what people don't understand, the thing that's so significant about Israel, why they so special, and I'm going to go into this. When you look in the earth today, you have all these different lands. Okay, this was the Indian land. Mm-hmm. When you look in Africa, the land of Ham, you look in Europe, you look at all these different places. Everybody have land that they fight over. Yeah. The fatherland is His people, Israel. This is His land. Inheritance. See what I'm saying? So the nation of Israel is going to always live throughout all generations because this body is the Father's body. When they speak about, and I don't want to get too far off into it, but when you go into the book of Zechariah, it speaks about those trees that sit right before the Father. You know what I'm saying? So the nation of Israel is going to, and the Father has already stamped this. They're not getting away from that. The nation of Israel is going to endure to the end of the world till it's over and done with. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, that is important, because once everybody get back to where they need to be, then the Father gonna move in, and it's gonna be better for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because why go to church and believe in somebody dying for your sins when the Father has not ordained that? There's nothing in Tanakh that states that somebody's gonna die for your sins. There's no need to. You see what I'm saying? The Father, when we are in captivity, we in captivity. Now, the Father do expect us to walk in the righteousness of the law while we are in captivity, but you don't need all of that. It's simple, but it's hard for people to grasp that. Just follow what the Father told you to do. There's nothing you can do that's going to save you out of something. This is what the Father helped us understand. Nobody can save you for nothing. Yeah. The only thing you can do is be obedient to my word when I'm asking you to do.
Yeah. Salvation's in Him.
Yeah, nobody's saving you for nothing.
Yeah.
Right. If that's the case, what happened during the days and times of Noah? Why did He send the Savior then?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Wouldn't it be smart to send the salvation then? That way, thousand years later, everybody's saved after that.
All
It's already saved.
Right.
We saved already when we come in.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
makes sense.
And that's critical. And I'll just I'll simply say is this, because when I talk to people, period, you know, and you guys know this, when I talk to us, I try to keep it simplified. You know, I realize that there's people out there that know more than me. I understand that I don't know everything, but when I try to convey to somebody what the Father is saying, I want it to be simplistic so that you will understand it's not that hard. He said in His word that Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And so now you have to know how the tradition worked with the Israelites with that firstborn child. All rights went to the firstborn child. So Israel is His firstborn. And He said everything go through Israel. That's simple, huh? We won't make it hard. I ain't gonna sit here and try to go through, you know, under here and dig it all up and make in this short video is what I'm saying. Right. Because we got people like my aunt right here that I know is well schooled in the ancient docs and stuff that can give you that. I ain't trying to give you that. What I'm trying to give you is the simplistic version of what it is. And it is simply this. That's it.
Yeah.
Israel is my son, even my firstborn. And in the Israelite tradition, all rights from the father went to the son, the first son.
Always.
Yeah, the way it
happens
is.
today.
He could have 19 girls. But the first son, after that 19th girl, going to the son.
Yeah.
Because and we can't be mad. Why? Because the Father set that up.
Right.
You can't be mad at me for telling you the truth. That's the way the Father set it up. Okay? And we're going to talk about that later. But that's my only point on it, right there. You got to do it. The importance of Israel was your question.
Yeah.
The importance is understanding who you are. Israel is his firstborn. I mean, is his son, even his firstborn. And just understand that all the rights that the Father has set in place go through that son.
Yeah.
And when you understand that, and if you fall in line with it, that's when you're going to be blessed. Because all the blessings go through there. We're going to talk about how the blessings flow later on.
That's great.
Not in this video. So that's my thought on that.
I was talking to one of my friends, and I was telling him that, you know, a man without an identity is a man without purpose. Living without purpose. So if you know you are who you are, then guess what? Now you can start to operate. Your mindset can change. You can say, man, I'm a child of the Most High. I'm supposed to be this. So these things are coming for me. Right? Now I need to stop operating like I need something from the world, or I need something from the man. Or I need, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Then you walk in your purpose.
You work in your purpose at that point. But if you don't have no identity, then you don't know what you do. You just, everything is chaos. So,
I mean, adding just a little tail end of that, those who walk with Israel, who call upon the name of YaHuWaH, they're gonna receive the blessings too. I mean, it's that simple. I mean, if you align yourself with YaHuWaH, we all got a chance. He gonna do what he want to do. He gives mercy to whom he gives mercy to, and he gives pity to whom he gives pity to. So
And it's funny you said that, Alk, and it's why it's so important for us to know. I always go back to that old school cartoon that used to say, "Knowing is half the battle." If you know, that's half the battle.
Yeah.
The next half of the battle is just execution.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's funny that you say that, because we have to do what we supposed to do. You don't get around it. You can't know what to do and then don't do it, but still expect to get the result that you promised if you do what you're supposed to do.
Exactly.
Okay, I know what I'm gonna get, but I ain't gonna do what I'm supposed to do. But I'm still get what I want. Yeah, you don't work
That's
that
what
way.
Christianity do.
Yes,
Right.
So we have to be careful about that.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right. Everybody good on that one? All right, last question. All right. Why do we, as the people, struggle understanding that we are the people?
And just let me go on that out, because I think I kind of asked you to ask that question. So I'll give you, my kind of reasoning behind wanting to ask that question. And I want to read it again just so it can resonate. Why do we as the people struggle understanding that we are the people? And so my thought process on that is, we know that it has been devices put in place to undermine YaHuWaH's people, keeping them from understanding who they are. In so much so that they try to get that identity to other people.
Psalm 93.
Right.
But in order for us to operate in the truth of who we are, then we got to know who we are. So first, get an understanding of who you are, and then you'll know that you need to walk in the truth of who you are, because YaHuWaH got some blessings coming down the pipe, and they coming down the pipe to his firstborn, who he said, "Israel is my son, even my firstborn." And so if you understand that you are Israelites, you children of the Most High, then you understand that if you walk in his truth, you're going to be a part of the blessings that he going to have for his people that's coming down the pipe. And that's my simple reasoning for having you to ask that. But so many people out there want to claim that they are Christians and that they believe in a New Testament Messiah, and you think you're going to be blessed. But when YaHuWaH come down with his judgment, and when you walking in his truth, he tell you how he gonna judge the people in his truth. I'm gonna share that verse with you later. He said he gonna judge the people in truth, in his truth. So we have to understand who we are, so that we can know what we need to do to be pleasing to the Father. You can't please the Father if you don't know who you are in him. If you don't know that you're attached to him, connected to him, and you doing things that contrary to the Father, he can't rock you. That's just like if you got a son, and everything you tell your son to do, he do the opposite. He go out there and put shame on your name, but then he want to come home and say, "Father, I need this and I need that, son." And you have to operate any kind of way. I can't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna do that.
That's not what my name and reputation is about.
Yeah, exactly. So that was my reasoning behind it. So you can let anybody else that want to comment on it, if they will.
What was the question? Just run it back again.
I got you right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says just, why do we as the people struggle understanding that we are the people?
Yes.
I feel like going back to what Mike said, kind of like 2-3 questions ago. This is a punishment handed down from the Father. Make us forget. So it's not more on us not understanding why our people having a hard time accepting it. It's just that that's part of the curse. Some of us are gonna wake up. Some of us are in too deep into the world. And some of us don't want to know. Have that purpose of wanting to know anything. They're fine with just waking up, going to work, doing their thing, and then, and when they die, and that's how they, some of us operate. But, some of us have a purpose, some of us are those trees that are right there that the Father, is raising up, it's been watering, and, we probably, I came from that lifestyle, I didn't know who I was, and then but it was something in me that wanted me to want to know, want to know is this real? Is it a heaven or hell? Is it a father? Is it a this? Is it an enemy? Is these questions I had to ask myself and had to research myself. So I feel like individually, little by little, Israel will start to wake up. By the purpose in you. If it's in you to want to know, then if he's okay, I see that light in there. Then why would not he come and put a little more fuel to that fire? And then you can start to wake up and realize, and then understand, and then push yourself to get a deeper understanding of who you are, your purpose, and all the above.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Frank said something earlier that could be applied to this too. I mean, we're royalty,
Right.
and so we don't and won't acknowledge it though.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We would rather accept what the world has made us into be: thugs, hoodlums, streetwalkers, street talkers, hustlers. Now, don't get me wrong. Like hustling, it can be a positive skill because all it is you being determined
Hard work,
to be
dedication.
successful.
Yeah.
We just do it. We take it to the negative side of things. You know what I'm saying? And we do all those things that might not be glorious in the sight of the Father. But we attach a lot of stuff to ourselves that they put on us, and we just accept it. You know what I'm saying? And we gotta come out of that.
Being the stranger among Israel, I will say that I agree with everything that you guys said. And there are, I guess you want to call them mechanisms that they have put in place to prevent you guys from rising to the top. However, I want people to understand too that the Israel as a whole has had such an immense influence on the world, not realizing. I mean, from music to culture to, everybody want to be Israel. Let's just put it in a nutshell. And not realizing the powerful influence even under captivity. Right. So imagine out of captivity. It's going to be a force to be reckoned with. It's going to be unbreakable, unshakable. Especially when you have the Most High, as the only, just like it says in Isaiah 43, there's no God before me or after me. So yeah, man, it's crazy, but in time and due time, and hopefully Israel, and I know they will, realize that they must repent, because the Father is an allure of order, man, and without order, you're gonna have chaos and people will just stay asleep. But anyways, I just want to say that, because it's crazy, you know what I'm saying? So I'll leave it with that.
Yeah, to me, it seems like most things that was good about us over the years, that have been good about us, like you said, music, entertainment, athleticism, and all that stuff, they've taken and been able to make money off of those elements and add them to a bunch of other cultures. And the bad that was in us has been augmented and magnified, and that's what they put in front of us, and just to show this is who they is.
Yeah.
All right. They take the good from us and
Right.
remind people of the bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And of course, like Mike said it earlier, the Father orchestrated everything as part of punishment. You know what I'm saying? So we know that that's part of it too. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna get to come all the way out of this until he do it, because he gonna get the credit. You know what I'm saying? And we ain't gonna have no choice but to say he did it. We won't be able to say a Biden or a Bush or an Obama or anybody did anything. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's real. That's real. That's real.
That's
real.
That's
That's
real.
real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's real. They all gonna know you who's running.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ain't nobody escaping anything at all. Well, this guy, no.
Like Bush might got some highways and stuff, and might got some history in the Oval Office and all that stuff, but he ain't gonna be able to be the one to claim that he gathered Israel together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And reset the world.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's for one person only.
Yeah.
You know?
I think the main thing is the reason why we having so many problems is the teachers. We got too many people out here. Like, let's just say you got Louis Farrakhan. He know we the Israelites, but he would rather teach some weird stuff about he got from Elijah Muhammad. And we could just simply fact check this stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't say you believe in the prophets and the Tanakh and all of this stuff, and then none of this stuff that you saying is in agreement with, you know, some aliens came and you know, just all this weird stuff. Like, where y'all, you know what I'm saying? So you got a group, but you got so many people that follow that stuff that, you know, that follow it to a degree that's stuck in that. Then you got the churches over here. You know what I'm saying? A group of an institution that's pushing one ideology. You know what I'm saying? So you got all of these different ideologies. This is why I said this movement that we have going on is going to challenge everything in the earth. And this is getting ready to start the eradicated movement where the Father getting ready to all the people that's not in the fold, as far as the house of Israel and the people that's joined Israel, you finna get all these people out the way. See, this is what we getting ready to get into. This is why I said this what's going on now is challenging everything, and everybody got to get in line, and we got to get these weak leaders out the way that do not represent our people, that come before the people, and, you know, that's taking all of this stuff, the Rainbow Coalition, the Jesse, you know, these type of people, we got to get these type of people out of the way because they don't speak for us. They don't. You see, this is why so much confusion. If we was all in one accordance, it wouldn't be no confusion. Everybody would know this is what we need to do. So that's the movement right now, you know. So, yeah.
All right, then, my ox, man, that's gonna conclude our first roundtable discussion, man. We're gonna have to line more of these up.
Yeah.
This was pretty dope, man, in my mind. So I appreciate you guys coming down to Dallas. That's all, you know, taking some time away like we always try to do, and put the Father first. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, this was a great discussion. Thanks for everybody's input. And with that being said, all right, shalom, shalom.
Shalom, shalom.